And we're going. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome once again to our final installment. Our final preview of the NFL divisions. I mean,
Yeah.
geez, this has been a 8-week journey at this point. I guess because we missed last week and we're doing last week's this week, 9 weeks. But, shut up, semantics. So
Yep.
welcome. I'm glad that all two of you have been here for this whole journey with us. Maybe. Probably just
Yeah. Doesn't matter how many. It's just
you
there is
know
at
what?
least one. I think maybe
Yes. It's
as long
me.
as at least one person benefiting from this.
It's me. So welcome everybody to the most must-see NFL ramble, fantasy football ramble that takes place at 1:53 on a Monday. Welcome. I am your hostess with the mostest, as per usual, Garrett M. La Laguna. The M stands for magnetic because those points are going to be coming to me like I'm magnetically polarized and they're just going to be all coming at me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn right.
Whatever. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yep. Get it. Right. Yeah. I'm
All
Tony.
over the face.
By the way, I'm the co-host. Tony. S stands for. Did you really set your draft board yet or not? Did you, Garrett? Did you?
I did. I'm about 100 deep on my draft board, but considering we go up to about
Is Leonard Fournette
108
up there?
draft picks, Leonard Fournette is on my draft board still currently. I'm betting he's on most people's draft boards still, but yeah, we will talk about that. You know what? No better time like the present. Hey, guess what? Leonard Fournette got cut today. Oh man, it's really funny to me because last weekend is the weekend that we would have done our draft last year. Last weekend is the biggest draft weekend for fantasy football of the year. And so many people are hurting right now because of that Leonard Fournette move. Oh my God. That is just brutal to some people's teams, man. Because I'm sure some
Yeah.
people reached and, spent a
I
third
would
round
have.
draft pick.
I would have. I would have been one of those guys. I've always liked him on my fantasy team. Because again, we've talked about it in previous podcasts. He is one of those traditional workhorse backs, and if you get points, even if it's not many points, you get some points for carries, just carries alone. And that dude was like the one that would get 25 to 30 carries easily every game. They
Yeah.
would live and die by Leonard Fournette. So the fact that they cut him and they traded their one of the star defensive ends, Ngakwe, yesterday for this draft picks. Like I was telling Garrett before the show, it's kind of looking similar to like a Dolphins situation where you just kind of dump your team and you're just gonna tank it this year. Um, yeah, I didn't think the Jaguars would be that type of team. I thought they were actually kind of average, not bad. I feel bad for Gardner Minshew now because
Always kind of in the
what the hell are they
hunt,
going to do?
but
They don't have a
yeah.
pass because he wasn't even that great of a quarterback last year, and I thought they were just going to run and die or live by the run with
Yeah.
Leonard Fournette, and now they don't have him. So I was like, all right, well, I'm sorry, Minshew, but you're going to be thrown into the fire, and you're just.
Yeah.
I feel so
Straight
bad
from the
for that guy.
frying pan into the fire,
I feel
man.
so bad for him.
No love for the Minshew.
His career is going to be just thrown into a downward spiral, and he's going to have no control over it. I mean, he
No,
will have all the control, but I mean, again, he's a rookie that needs development, and
unless he steps
he
up and
shouldn't be
becomes
put
like a
in this position.
Brady out
That's
of
what I'm
nowhere.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's not necessarily what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about
The defense. No, I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
defense. Let's talk about the defense real quick. Now, we're here to talk about the NFC North, our final divisional preview of the year, man. The NFC North, your division, your team. We're going to talk about the Packers today because
Go
they are
pack them.
by far the worst division team in that division.
Oh, by far. Yeah.
By far.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, not saying like the Lions are, too much better. But
Right. I know.
but man, yeah, we got a nice little preview show for you, final preview show, and then at the end of this, for those of you watching that decide to actually watch this one, I'm going to reveal the draft order because, ladies and gentlemen, we are 1 week away from our fantasy football draft. 1 week.
Is the most wonderful time of the year.
Damn right. We got 7 hours or 7 days, 3 hours.
So what was it at, like 4:30?
4:30 we're getting together to kind of talk about any sort of rule changes that we want to go over, and I'm talking about like the expanded playoffs because I'm not hearing back from anybody but the handful of people that I have talked to, so I'm still missing input from like half the league.
Yeah.
Expanded points. Do we want to start doing points for kickoff and punt returns? For like defensive players and stuff.
You
Do
know,
we want to up to a full PPR or and a half 0.2 point per rush from where we were, basically doubling the PPRs that we had going on last year?
yeah.
So there's a couple questions that we have right now going into, and I would like to get some clarification from and some input from everybody because as of right now, I'm of the opinion points are probably fine where they are. If I just, chose myself because, I got no input from anybody and commissioner prerogative, probably would not change any points and I would do the expanded playoffs.
So I'm just sorry. I'm just thinking about this draft thing. So we're at 4:30. It'll be at 5 is when it starts
Mhm.
officially.
Yes.
And then the same day, I have another draft on the same day too. I might actually be multitasking. This is gonna be fun. At 7 o'clock, I believe, Mountain Time is when my draft,
So
other drafts.
you'll be getting to the later rounds with us when you're
Yeah.
starting that one.
So that one's on ESPN. So I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to keep going back and forth. Yes, we're gonna have like two laptops here: ESPN, NFL, ESPN, NFL.
Yeah.
And then I believe there's a third Yemen too, but I have to look into that anyway.
Also check your draft client. You can do that on the fantasy football website on NFL.com, just to make sure that everything is working properly for you. Because I would hate for somebody to be SOL and
Yep, and
not have something work. It should work fine, especially if
that's
you're on Google Chrome or something like that. Uh,
it's kind of like video conferencing, right? You would want to be there for the pretest. Our pretest
exactly,
is at 4:30. Be there at
exactly.
4:30.
So yes,
that's
I'm gonna let
that's
everybody
yeah.
know. Try and be there at 4:30. 4:30 Mountain Time, 6:30 Eastern Time. Who the hell are you? Why are you constantly calling me? Piss off
Dude,
and leave a voicemail.
I've had a number from Colorado call me like 1,000 times this week. Same number, and I've answered a few times, and it's just nothing there.
Yep.
I mean, I can block it easily, but I'm just
Yeah.
so like flabbergasted. Like, why though?
Yeah.
You can leave if it's important. Leave a voicemail. That's
Yeah.
what I always say, and no
If you
one
are
ever
an
leaves a
actual
voicemail.
person, leave a voicemail. At least let me know who you're calling from, where you're calling from and what it's in like possibly what it's in regards to. I understand if it's like a bill collection thing, then they can't give me the whole damn thing, but like, hey, this is an attempt to, do that
Dude,
sort of stuff.
and
Don't
I
just
know,
call me and not leave me anything cuz then you're just being a schmuck.
and this is kind of going on a little tangent real quickly though. I got it last week. My mom in Illinois got a phone call, and they were asking for Anthony, and I'm like, and when she texted me, she's like, someone just called here from a Colorado number asking for Anthony. I'm like, how the hell would anyone get your number? A- And no one calls me Anthony, by the way, so I already know that's a fake, like one of those people that just has a list next to them, like, oh,
Yeah.
Anthony. But how the hell they got a hold of my mom's cell phone number? Never will know that. But anyway, so football, defense,
We're talking
playoffs.
about football playoffs. So yeah, let's get right into it. With probably the worst team in this division of what
It's
could be a good division in the long run, but
that's always
ultimately
hard
the
to say.
worst team, I feel it's kind of
Yeah,
a toss up for me, but I think it's the Lions right
that's.
now.
I think it's pretty securely the Lions. I mean, the Bears, their offense is very, very, very skeptical, but their defense of Khalil Mack, man, it's scary always with that. With man, that guy is just a force of nature. Um,
Uh-huh.
so yeah, I would say Lions are the worst.
But yeah, with the Lions, they didn't really have too many crazy transactions in this offseason, didn't do anything that great necessarily. But they have the old guard still there. Matthew Stafford, always a solid hand. Always in talks for being you know, an actual good fantasy quarterback, but he's always a quarterback too for me, I feel. I would never draft my team based around
Absolutely
him
not.
being my star
He is
quarterback.
he has zero mobility.
Mhm.
He will get the passing yards. He throws some INTs, but he gets a lot of yards. He's a good quarterback. I feel bad for him because pretty much any player that is decent that goes to the Lions is stuck in purgatory, and their career is never going to go to the next level, right?
No.
Just imagine if Stafford was on a different team that actually had stuff around him, then it'd
Yeah.
be a different story. Like for example, he had Calvin for a little bit, and that was fun. But then he retired because he's like, screw the Lions, everyone sucks here, and
Yeah,
I'm
he
stuck
did the
here
Barry
forever.
Sanders thing.
He literally did the Barry Sanders thing. So I feel the Lions are just they're cursed. They're one of those cursed teams.
Mhm. Absolutely. Them and the Browns, man. You just
Yeah,
if you're
those
on
are
one of
two.
those two
Yep,
teams, I'm sorry.
Lions or Browns. Yep, you're just not gonna go anywhere. Like despite who you have,
Yeah.
it's just not gonna work out. It's just not.
But at the end of the day, the Lions still have weapons. They still have on Johnson, which I mean, he's in a walking boot right now as cautionary thing. But I, I'm personally one of those guys. I'm not going to walk around in a walking boot just because I feel like, oh, this is a good little precautionary thing. Nah,
There's
he's
no
in a
reason.
walking boot because something happened. He tweaked something. I'm skeptical on on Johnson. Now, his backup, DeAndre Swift, the number 35 overall draft pick in the draft this year, he's making some noise. A lot of people are liking what he's doing right now, and he could be the back of the future there. And I honestly would look at probably drafting DeAndre Swift over on Johnson right now.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, that's a good call. I would not. For me personally, I don't think I would draft any of the running backs there. The
Yeah.
Lions again are a very interesting team. They pass way more than they run for the most part.
Yeah,
Um,
DeAndre Swift is really good at catching the ball out of the backfield. He is
that's
getting a
one thing.
really good rapport right now so far with Matthew Stafford. So,
That's normally what they do with the Lions. Generally, is if they do use their running backs, it's more of a in a passing situation, like a
mhm,
screens and stuff.
yep.
So I mean, in a PPR league, yeah, it's definitely valuable for sure. But
I
again,
think
personal
DeAndre
thing.
Swift, yeah, at the end of the year, he could be a solid flex player, an RB3, if
Yeah,
not an RB2.
yeah, dude.
So, I think he could potentially be a value considering where he's usually being drafted, which is, he's the 38th ranked running back going into this year. So,
Hmm.
yeah, you never know. We'll see what happens.
Exactly.
Um, Tight end situation there. They got the outlaw Jesse James
Jesse James.
and TJ
uh,
Hawkinson, whatever.
who was he was drafted as like top 10 last year, I believe.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be one of those prolific tight ends, and I think he did decent. I don't remember what his stats were, or maybe he didn't.
Last year he was, oh my God, he was not good. He was not
Yeah.
top 25. He was 29th.
Mm. Well, maybe I don't know if it was injuries or what the deal was, but still would be a nice sleeper pick to pick him up because his potential is one of those, like, it's through the roof. You just gotta get on the field and play. And
Yeah.
with Matthew Stafford, again, a team that passes a lot more than they run, you don't know. So,
Yeah.
but would I draft him? I don't know. It would be a really late draft pick. We'll
That's
see.
something that you're just kind of,
We'll see if
you're
if there
not
comes a
depending
point.
on him to be your top
Yep.
guy. But I mean, after the first or second week, you never know where he could go. I mean, last week, week 1, he put up 131 points and a
I do
touchdown.
remember that. I do remember that, and that's when I immediately was like, "Gosh, Dane, I wish I drafted him."
But
But then
then,
I
like the
missed.
rest of the year, his top day was only a 10.2 day.
So yeah, it's an interesting pick, possibly. It was one of those situations where if you get to the point in the draft and you're like, I don't know who the frick to draft right now. Oh,
Yeah.
Hawkinson's still there. Okay, I'll just grab him.
Hawkinson could be a good value pick later in the draft if he's available,
Yep,
simply put.
yep.
But the wide receivers there, they got a couple really good wide receivers: Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola. Man, Danny Amendola, he could be a beast in a full PPR league,
Always, because
and just always catching those underneath routes.
yep, catch the little short routes. That's huge for a PPR league, man. But
Yeah,
so we'll see.
yeah. As far as the Lions went, though, in the draft this year, man, they focused heavily on the defense. They're really trying to fix their defense. Didn't do much for the offense except for like DeAndre Swift, really. But besides that, it was all defense based, man. They're really trying to lock up that defense and actually have something better there. Matt
Hmm.
Patricia, being their head coach, I'm sure he's looking at solidifying that end.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I mean, Matthew Stafford and Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones, they put up the numbers. Ultimately, end of the day, they put up big passing yards. They can put up points. They just need to be able to stop people.
Hmm.
Simple as that. And they
Exactly.
have never been able to stop anybody.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Uh, Getting on to the next team, we got the Chicago Bears.
The Bears
Duh,
still
Bears.
still suck.
Yeah. They made a couple moves this year. They brought in Nick Foles. They brought in Jimmy Graham. So,
Who used to be the Packers? Of course.
uh-huh.
That's seriously this whole that's the Bears and the Vikings always take all the Packer players right after they're
Well, it
done.
worked so well with the Packers, but then they realized, oh shit, it's
Yeah.
just Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is just that good.
So yeah. uh,
But
The
Matt, what
Bears.
did happen with Jimmy Graham? Because when
He
you
didn't
look at
do
like
that much of
5 years
us. He
ago,
didn't do
Matt,
that much of us, honestly. It's
dude,
not a yeah,
5 years ago, Jimmy Graham was a beast. He
he
was
was.
that Travis Kelsey, George Kittle type guy,
Yep.
always being drafted in like the top 2 or 3 of tight ends. And now it's like I could see myself picking up Jimmy Graham with the Bears in the 10th round.
I don't even know if I would want to draft him. Again, I had high hopes for him on the Packers, and he never did anything. And that's kind of been our thing with the Packers. We've kind of just rotated through tight ends like a year after year. Like, all right, let's try this new tight end, see how he does. Let's try
Yeah,
this one. Like
yeah,
Jared Cook was one for a year. He did really good. He was better than Jerry Graham. Then he went to the Saints, and he's killing it still.
yep,
Um, but no, we've done that several years, and we can never find just one solidified beast tight end that would be with us for the long run.
yep.
We just struggle in that department. But anyway, the Bears still suck.
The Bears.
All
Yeah.
right.
Quarterback right now, the quarterback situation is just stupid there because the coach won't tell anybody who the starting quarterback's going to be week 1.
Well,
If it's Mitch Trubisky or if it's Nick Foles right now, he
I,
ain't telling anybody anything. And
and from all the stuff I've read, because I do get a lot of alerts, because not because I'm a Bear fan, but because other people are Bear
interdivision
fans.
stuff.
So they're posting stuff on Facebook and Instagram and stuff all the time. And I've been hearing that Nick Foles has been better in camp and has just overall it seems like he is winning the battle right now.
Yeah,
So we'll see. Right now, I think it would be Nick Foles that starts, which is kind of funny and depressing as a Bear fan, I would say, because you drafted Trubisky top 5 pick and you traded up for him too. You gave
yeah,
up the world for him, and he's been very, very, very mediocre. So Nick Foles, you know what he's going to do. Okay, he's been around
yeah. He's
so
gonna
damn
get
long.
hurt. That's what he's
He's
gonna do.
he did great with the Eagles. He goes to the Rams. He sucks. He comes back to the Eagles. He does great. He goes to the Jaguars. I don't know really how he was going to do. He got hurt, but he played a little bit, was average, and got hurt.
And then Minshew
And then
mania took over.
yeah, and then he goes to the Bears. So he's very inconsistent. He's pretty much he's like a system quarterback. He did really good with the Eagles. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So yeah, sure. If you think you want to start him in Chicago, great. I guarantee it's gonna be one of those couple good games. Has horrible slate of games. Trubisky comes in again, and yeah, the Bears go like 7-9 this year or something.
I'll guarantee both of them end up starting like half the games this year because end of the day, if Nick Foles is the starter, he will get hurt. Inevitably, he will get hurt. He will not play a full season.
You'll get hurt.
When
and
that
you'll
happens,
struggle.
Trubisky's going to come back, and the Bears fans are just going to be sadder.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting situation with that.
Yep. So me personally, not taking any of those quarterbacks there.
No.
However, I am highly interested. I love David Montgomery.
He is good. I had him.
Cohen isn't bad either.
Yep. No, they're again a very interesting running back situation, mostly passing to the running backs. They do a lot of their offense is actually really creative. And I actually, as a Packer fan, I give kudos to their coach, whoever the coach is, because they do some really interesting. Yeah, they do some really interesting stuff with their running backs to get them involved.
Here is a little bit of an interesting situation, though. Montgomery hurt his groin on Friday during Friday's practice. They don't think it's going to be it's not as bad as it was originally looking. However, he's going to be out at least 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So he will probably not be playing week 1. And you know who they have right now as the kind of guy that's really backing him up? It's not Tariq Cohen. It's Cordero Patterson.
He's that running back?
Yeah, they're moving him over to be one of those hybrid players to be running back as well as wide receiver. Which, I mean, we've seen him do that before.
Yeah, no, that's actually an interesting one then for PPR leagues, right? Again, like you could be catching the ball, running the ball, just getting yards, good flex player possibly.
Let me ask you this quick question though. Did they bring in Fournette? Do the Bears bring in Fournette and get that Nick Foles Fournette team up again?
I don't. This is just.
Or are they just like this is a Montgomery team right now?
I'm just saying that their style of offense, like they're not going to be a run-heavy 25, 30 carries of Leonard Fournette down the middle of the field. They don't run down the middle. They, again, like screens and like outside runs and such stuff like that. That's what David Montgomery is good for, and Tariq Cohen is perfect. He's the ultimate receiving back. So no, if I had a bet, I would not say that they would be the one that picks him up. I would be sad as a Packer fan if they did, because he's obviously, I think I like Leonard Fournette. It'd be interesting to see where he goes though.
Yeah.
He will go somewhere. There's no way he's gonna be just free agent for any longer than a week.
Yeah. So the tight end situation there, obviously now they have Jimmy Graham, which is going to be awesome for them. And then they got some Cole Kmet. I don't know. They drafted him at the 43rd overall pick in this last year's draft. So trying to hope maybe for a young tight end to come in and shine a little bit with the 43rd pick. But yeah, I mean, Jimmy Graham, nothing really needs to be said about him. He's a solid hand.
Yeah, he was disappointing for the Packers. There was a lot of catches he just used to make, and he was not with the Packers, right? He just struggled for a couple years with us, and it's sad because I did like him as a person. He's a good person, and he tried hard. He just I don't know. It doesn't seem like he has the same legs that he used to in Seattle. So we'll see what he does with the Bears. I'm not gonna, again, personally, since seeing Jimmy Graham for the past 4 years up close, I'm not gonna probably draft him at all. But anyone else can, that's fine. But I just, that's me being a Packer fan and seeing especially him on the Bears now. They go F themselves. They do that all the time. Vikings
Yeah.
and Bears is, oh, look, there's a washed up Packer player. We're going to take him now. Okay.
Yep. Snipe him.
Yep.
But then the wide receiver situation there too. I don't know. Allen Robinson, Anthony Miller. I think there's still kind of solid pickups. Not going to blow anything higher than a 6th, 7th round draft pick for either of those guys, but they could be late round
No,
values.
I don't trust him. I don't trust the quarterback.
Yeah, but ultimately, at the end of the day, it comes back to the quarterback situation there. And unless I know who your quarterback's going to be, I ain't going to look at drafting them unless it's a serious value later on in the draft, like in the double digits.
Yep.
I might look at them down there because then I'm not banking on them to be a starter. They're just there. So if they do well, awesome. If not, I ditch them for whoever does do well.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're just there to be a place filler at that point. But I ain't gonna blow a top level draft pick on either of those guys, and
Not.
yeah, not even Cordero Patterson. I
No.
ain't gonna blow anything on him either because I'm sorry. I think Cordero Patterson and Anthony Miller are probably two guys that you'll be able to find on the waiver wire come week 1.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Allen Robinson, he will be drafted.
Yeah.
But Patterson and Miller, I could see them potentially not getting drafted.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah. So on to the next team now. We got the Minnesota Vikings. And yeah, got my I guess my second team going on up there, the Vikings. You know, I got to rep my boys with beard and
No.
everything.
I have a hatred for both the Bears and the Vikings. Very, very equal. I mean, the Bears will always be the number one team I hate, but the Vikings are there too. Mainly because my whole family, on one side of the family is all Viking fans, the other side of the family is Bear fans, and then there's Tony in the middle of the Packer fan.
You're sitting there just like, you know what, outlier.
Go, yeah, screw you all. So yeah, the Vikings, they're much better than the Bears right now in terms of quality, though. I think. They've always been in the hunt. They're the top competition to the Packers to take the title back this year. At least that's what I believe in.
Especially with that running game.
Their running game is great. If Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins, did a lot better last year. They have a great defense. They just traded for Ngakoue. That's from the Jaguars. I believe that's who they got. So no, they always have a solid defense. They always have a solid offense. They're a tough team. They're a tough team. They're a very balanced team. So yeah, we can continue to talk about the positions, but they're just a really solid team. And
yeah,
I don't like saying that as a Packer fan, but they really are.
Yep. Well, as you mentioned, Kirk Cousins, this is his team. He ain't going anywhere. Running back situation, you got one of the top guys in the NFL, one of those guys that was not highly sought after last year. I want to say Anthony picked him up in the like 2nd or 3rd round or something. Dalvin Cook, man. And he just killed it last year, man. Love that kid. But here's the question I have for you. Because of the whole situation, I don't know if you've paid any attention to this at all. He's in a contract year. Dalvin Cook is in a contract year. With the new CBA agreements that they have right now, if Dalvin Cook were to hold out for a new contract, which is something he has talked about doing before, right now, it would hurt him financially through all this offseason and everything and through training camp if he were to sit out now. However, once the season starts, he can start sitting out at no financial burden to himself, and no, really nothing bad can happen to him at that point. Now, Dalvin Cook is sitting here saying, yeah, I'm going to play this year. But I mean, Lev Bell was saying the same thing too right before he took a full year off in contract disputes. So, that being said, Dalvin Cook has been practicing and training all this time, but he recently had some migraine issues.
it could be one of those things like, oh yeah, my head hurts, my pinky hurts, I can't play. It's all right.
Exactly.
If I had a
So
couple extra dollars in my pocket, though, this
maybe I
would
could see
heal
that
magically.
doctor that would
Mhm.
magically fix me, you know?
Exactly.
So I don't know. Tony, let me ask you right now. Are you are you picking up Dalvin Cook and are you buying Dalvin Cook with a top round draft pick? Because right now they're ranking him at the number 5 overall running back.
It would be so hard to pass him up. Um, I would still probably consider him, yeah, in like the honestly like between rounds 2 and 4, two around there. Still, I would. Um, I feel like if he, I don't think there will be a
You
point
thi-
where he would sit out. I don't. If that does happen, that it's like for a week or two or something, he comes back. Kind of like the Chargers. What was he's on the
Melvin Gordon?
Broncos now. Melvin Gordon. He sat out for a bit, I think, and then he did come back.
Yeah, he was out like
But
9 weeks.
yeah, that was a long time. I want to hope that would be the case for Dalvin
Yeah.
if I drafted him.
So with the 5th overall ranked running back, man, I could still see him being a top first round draft pick
Yeah,
somewhere in that
he
area.
could be. He could be a
Are
first.
are
I
you
would not feel
willing?
comfortable for first. I would not feel
Yeah.
comfortable for first. Um, maybe again like just round early. I would go maybe round 2. I would still be a little hesitant. But if he's still there in round 3, I would get him. I
Yeah.
would.
I could
I've
not
had him.
see him making it to round 3 even with
Yeah,
the potential disputes going on, but me
I've
personally, man,
yeah
I'm having a hard time like with everything going on thinking about taking him.
yeah. No, I mean
If he's even available to me at my position because I know the draft order.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, he's I've had him on a few fantasy teams, and he's always been lights out for me.
He was
So
my
I
boy like 2 years ago, man. Last year he just absolutely killed it for Anthony.
so it's hard. Yeah, it's hard just to ignore that.
Yep.
And so I would probably still take a chance and get him, but
But
probably
if
not
he
round
does
1.
sit out, you have Alexander Mattinson behind it and Amir Abdullah.
So yeah,
So two solid guys there. Mattinson was like a rookie last year or something. He's a young guy, but the couple games that he stepped in for Dalvin Cook when he went out with the injury, I want to say, he really shined. He did well. He's a good, reliable hand for if Dalvin Cook were to go out or sit out.
yep, yeah.
Then they got Kyle Rudolph, dude that's been there forever, it seems.
He's been there forever. I've never been a huge fan of drafting him in fantasy because he really doesn't actually put up that being crazy. He doesn't put up crazy stats. He
No, less than
doesn't.
100 points usually.
He doesn't really do anything super pretty. So,
Yeah, he's a middle
um,
of the road guy, but he has the potential to really snake a couple of like big
yeah,
touchdowns.
he might have a couple of good games in a year, but I don't know. There's always games too where he has like 5 catches for 20 yards,
Yep.
which is like meh, 7 points. Oh yeah, but
Yeah. Well, this
um,
year, if we up the points, yeah, it would be seven
right,
points.
exactly.
Otherwise, it would only be like 3.5,
Yeah,
4.
and yeah, it's just sad at that point. So I would,
Yeah.
I still personally, I don't think I would get him. I've
Yep.
had him a couple years, and it's just like, dude, you're Kyle Rudolph. Aren't you supposed to be amazing? Nope, nope, nope. He's not.
He's he's average.
He's very average.
He's that good fill-in for if your if your tight end is on bye week.
That would, yeah, I would pick him up for a week or something, but that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they only really have one wide receiver now. Now, they did blow a first round draft pick, number 22nd overall draft pick on Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
So hoping he can come in and shine. But then they only have Adam Thielen, which
I mean, he's
I
pretty
would
damn good.
see him going in the top 4 rounds.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's
Especially
a
with the
couple.
12-man league, man, like we have, man, I could see him going in the top 3 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, it was like 2 years ago when he went completely off. Last year was a little bit more of a setback from what I remember. But I remember a couple years ago he just caught every freaking ball. I like him though. He is my
Yeah,
guy.
last year he had a setback year. He was only ranked 60th overall.
Yeah, Yeah, he didn't do a whole lot last year, but the year before he was on fire.
I want to say he started off pretty hot last
I
year.
think it was injuries, just another one of those things, just injuries.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely he would be a top priority guy for me.
Yeah. So fun little fact with these guys, they had 15 draft picks this year.
Yeah, a lot.
Right. They had 15 draft picks. 6 were offensive, 9 were defense. So they are really trying to help that defense.
Yep.
Thielen went out last year with injury for
Same.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 weeks.
Yeah, so that's why I would.
He only got 2. He rushed for 2 yards in the final game against Green Bay. So yeah, he essentially did nothing for 8 games, and he was still the number 60th wide receiver. I mean, all the
Yep.
games that he did play, he was a good, solid hand. Chicago was by far his worst game last year, but besides that, 11 points, 10 points, 19 points, 28 points, 14 points, 9 points. So, yeah, he can be good when he plays.
Yep. Yep.
So, yeah, definitely fun. And then we get to the top team of this division, your team, sir.
Go
Who's
back,
that again?
go!
Who-
Green Bay Packers, the 13-time world champions of football.
13 times, really?
They consider it before the Super Bowl, like all the
Ah,
champions we got before that.
because I know they haven't won the Super Bowl 13 times. That's absolutely ridiculous. But
They've
yeah,
won
if we're
4.
going world championships and stuff like that, Jesus,
Yeah,
still 13,
they won 4 Super Bowls. But yep.
along with the Giants.
There you go. So yeah, the Packers they exceeded expectations last year with a new coach. I mean, obviously that's a very good debut year for our rookie head coach. Was very impressed with the coaching.
Yeah,
Um,
13-3, won the
yeah,
division.
you can't. Yeah, and you made it to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Granted, we got destroyed by the 49ers 2 times last year, and so they, as my friends would say, they took our lunch money, right? They did us dirty. But yeah, no, the Packers it's had a very strange off season. Very, very strange.
Yeah, yeah. One of their big signings, Devin Funches,
Yeah,
has
he opted
decided
out,
to opt out too.
which is a heartbreaker because again, that is one of the biggest topics of the offseason for us was the receivers. And so here comes the NFL draft. All right, there's like a few top receivers, and then the draft. Let's see who we get, and we get a quarterback, Jordan Love.
Yeah, and by all accounts, man, Jordan Love is impressing nobody, and people within the organization are saying we do not real understand why we traded up for this guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I have hope that he doesn't have to play for a couple years and can hopefully improve on his game.
I ain't playing this year.
He better not.
Aaron Rodgers is still a beast, 13
I
and 3
know.
last
I'm
year
just,
with
well, I'm just saying,
nothing
like,
around him.
I'm hoping in terms of like Rodgers staying healthy because otherwise, yeah, he would come into the obviously the game. And Rodgers has had the. And that's another thing I thought about the other day. That's actually a good point to make a case for why the Packers drafted a quarterback in the first round. Because Rodgers, he has broken his collarbone multiple times. If he does it again, who the frick knows if he comes back for it or if he's just done for the season, right? And then secondly,
Or if he's
he's
just
had
done, period.
right, and he's had 1,000 concussions too. Like he's pretty much one concussion away again from being not just out for a season, but his career is in jeopardy. So
Yeah.
it's like he's good when he's playing, but he's had some severe injuries where like if you just get one more good hit on him, he's done. So it would be nice to have someone in the fold ready to go to start taking over and leading the team. So I'm not obviously 100% against the pick, but then you thought we would get a receiver at some point. But we didn't even draft a receiver
Nope.
at all. And then we got
No, you
Devin
did not.
Funchess, and then he opted out. So we did sign a new receiver, Malik
Yep.
Turner. Malik Turner. Don't know really much about him, but he was on Seattle. He's a young guy.
Hmm.
Um, and
You guys
yeah,
also got Alan Lazard,
yeah,
which
no,
a lot of people are talking highly about the
yeah,
Lazard King.
we have some we have some young receivers that I want to see more of. There's a guy named Jake Kumaro. Um, he has long hair. I actually like him a lot. He's from his college is from Wisconsin Whitewater, which is a Division III school in Wisconsin that I went to a couple times for some scrimmage games for my college.
Nice.
But yeah, no, he's done some. He had some good games in the preseason last year. So I hope he gets more opportunities. I know Aaron Rodgers likes him. He likes him and Lazard quite well.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other guys, Equimius St. Brown and Marquez Van Scan. I can't even. Their names are so stupid.
Oh,
M-
Marquez
MVS,
Valdez
MVS.
Scandling.
Those
I
two
just call him
guys.
MVS.
Those two guys need to step up.
Yep.
They haven't done much of anything yet. But Lazard and Kumaro are the guys I think have a chance to really step up this year.
Yep. Yep.
I'll stop rambling about the Packers. You can talk.
No, man, it's cool. It's cool. This is your team. I mean, always, we've got Rodgers as the quarterback. You know, uh, it doesn't matter how old he is, how long he's been playing. Rodgers is, he's one of those top draft picks, man. He's awesome. He's going to do well for you fantasy wise. He is just always a top 10 quarterback. You might as well pick him up because why the hell not? Even if he goes down with injury, he will still be a top 10 quarterback. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. He's just that badass. Then you got Aaron Jones, and then with the 63rd pick, they picked up AJ Dillon.
Dude, have you seen his legs?
No, I have not.
He's almost 250 pounds. He is a big freaking boy.
Yeah.
He looks good. Like,
So you could
I
be like
mean,
a Brandon Jacobs
yeah,
style, Larry
yeah,
Johnson
just
from
down
back
the
in the
field,
day.
just freaking. And again, why do we need to get another running back? We already have Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams. So screw it, let's get another running back.
Yeah.
So we have 3 running backs that are that could start at any point.
Yeah.
So it'll be really interesting to see how they use them in their offense this year. Matt LaFleur, the head coach, he came from the Titans, and obviously the Titans relied heavily on their running game. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that's what he's trying to merge
He
the
wants
Packers
another
into.
Derrick Henry type
He
guy.
wants another Derrick Henry guy. He wants to get that running game going. He wants to not rely on Aaron Rodgers and the throwing game as much
Mm-hmm.
anymore.
And that makes sense, especially with the location. I mean, up there in Green Bay, man,
It will
if you
hurt.
don't have a
It
tough
will
running game,
hurt getting
yeah,
hit by AJ Dillon, man. He's
yeah,
been impressive. He's been impressive in campus from what I've heard.
right on.
Maybe not Jordan Love. I read an article today of him overthrowing many people, and kind of
He has a
it
big accuracy issue.
gave me a little tear in my eye
Yeah,
thinking about it. But hopefully he just doesn't have to play anytime soon.
yeah. Tight end Mercedes Lewis, solid hand,
He's
not the
he's just a
greatest,
blocking he's
but
just a blocking tight end at this point for the most
yeah.
part.
Don't know
Um,
who you guys have there as a pass catching tight end anymore.
Jace Sternberger is a rookie that we got
Who?
last year. Jace Sternberger.
Who?
We drafted him in like the 3rd round last year, I believe, or 3rd or 4th. He never really played much in the games, but they had high hopes for him. And now that Jimmy Graham's gone, I assume he's gonna get a lot more playing time. So if you're looking for who's the Packers going to throw to for tight end wise, it's not going to be Mercedes Lewis, but it's going to be a Sternberger probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see who the Packers ranked tight end is. Holy God. They have nobody in like.
Yeah.
Yep. Jay Sternberger. He is currently ranked like the number 44th overall tight end right now. So guess what? You're not picking up any tight ends from the
Nope.
Packers this year.
No, unless that's the thing. Yeah, no, if I see if he does one good game, like week 1, he gets like 5 catches for 100 yards and touchdown and stuff, and then Tony's like picking him up off the freaking waiver wire instantly. But I'm not gonna draft him otherwise.
I wouldn't be drafting him. No, not if you have any other option, really. And then the wide receiver situation, as we were talking about earlier, Devontae Adams is just, he's going to get all the balls this year. He is going to be the Michael Thomas of last year, I feel. I think Devontae Adams is the pickup. I think he's going to be the wide receiver because, let's be honest, they have no others.
It's not really
MVS, and that's about it.
Yeah. No, he's really developed into being a really, really, really top tier receiver. It just would be nice to have some help around him. That is all. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Any closing remarks you want to make on the Packers, sir?
I mean, it's going to be an interesting year again. No one is the Pack. They didn't think the Packers were going to go too far last year. They exceeded expectations.
Skeptical on them.
So again, people are still having the same skepticism this year. But again, it's one of those things where there's some questionable moves being made. That kind of makes me scratch my head, but I'm kind of in the viewpoint of just trusting the process. Because we have a new GM as of last year who made some really good offseason moves with getting Zadarius Smith on defense and Preston Smith on defense. Our pass rush last year was unbelievable. Our defense was a lot better than it used to be. And just the drafting he did too. So, I mean, there was a lot of good things this GM did last year for us. And then the head coach, Matt LaFleur, again, in his first year, was kind of unsure how he was going to do. He was having some arguments with Aaron Rodgers in training camp about how they're going to control who can choose the plays during the games. But again, they proved everyone wrong, and they did really well. So, yeah, they made some really questionable decisions this offseason. But I'm like, all right, there has to be a method to this madness. So I'm just going to let it go and see what happens. There we go.
13-3.
Right? Can't argue with 13-3, man.
You cannot. So that is the wrap up of all of our divisional breakdowns. Wow. That was interesting. That was fun. That was a fun little journey we're on. But now let's get into projections and rankings for this division. And man, this is a kind of weak division, really, when you look at it. Obviously, as far as quarterback goes, the top quarterback of this division is going to be Aaron Rodgers. They're projecting him to be the 7th overall quarterback this year. Guess where he was ranked last year?
Probably 7 also.
7 also.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. So stats got him to the 7th quarterback last year. This year, he's projected to be the 7th quarterback. So, yeah. Next quarterback in this division, who is it? Who's going to be the next
That's going to be Kirk Cousins.
No, not according to the projections.
Matthew Stafford, huh? Okay.
Matthew Stafford at 19. So kind of a big drop off there.
Yeah.
Last year, Matthew Stafford was number 28. This is one I don't necessarily agree with because Kirk Cousins is the number 3. They're projecting him at 24th overall this year. He was ranked 13 last year. So just on the cusp of being a top quarterback. So, but I mean, he had Stephon Diggs last year. He had Adam Thielen last year. He had a good solid team around him. That could be where they're coming with this. And then right now, as far as the NFL Network is going, Nick Foles is projected to be the top quarterback for Chicago. So projecting him to be number 31. But
like I said, that's what the rumors have been, or not really rumors, but just from people watching training camp to like Nick Foles is definitely winning the battle. So that's why he's probably projected higher.
Yep.
So.
Okay, so running backs. Who's the top running back in this division?
The Dalvin Cook.
Yep. Dalvin Cook, number 5 overall last year. He was actually ranked number 5. So put him right back where he was. Aaron Jones is the next ranked running back. Last year, he actually was number 3 overall as far as running backs go, but they're projecting him to be 12th this year. So interesting situation there. David Montgomery is next. They're projecting him to be 28th. So steep drop off after that those first two. Montgomery last year was 21. Then you got Cohen at 32. DeAndre Swift with the Lions at 38. Mattinson at 48. Jamal Williams at 56. AJ Dillon at 68. And Mike Boone at 83. So just a plethora of Green Bays in the 50s and 60s there. I assume they're thinking that everything's just going to Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
There is no Jamal Williams. There is no AJ Dillon. There is only Aaron Jones.
It'll be interesting. I don't know.
Yep. Wide receivers, top wide receiver in this division. Go.
The Davante Adams.
Of course. Projected to be number 2. Last year he was 24th overall, though.
He's projected number 2.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know he was that high.
Yeah, projecting him to be number 2.
Right behind Mike Thomas, huh?
Yep. Right behind him, Allen Robinson. Not really right behind him, I guess, at 15th overall. So there's your one bear that'll really probably be drafted. Kenny Galladay at number 18, which last year he had a good year. So let's see what happens there. Adam Thielen at 22, Marvin Jones at 26, and then just a stark fall off to Anthony Miller at 52. So, yeah, you got Miller at 52, Amendola at 57, then Justin Jefferson at 59, the Lazard King at 68. And I forgot MVS at 40.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, again, I kind of MVS and Equimius St. Brown, those two receivers, I'm kind of like, they need to step up their game. I'm not going to draft them probably. I don't know if I'll draft any other receivers besides Devontae for the Packers. So.
No, honestly, with the Packers, I see 3 draftees, man, from them. Rodgers, Jones, and Adams. Those are it.
Yeah.
Those are the only people that I would draft from the Packers, honestly.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah. But the Packers defense, is actually the second-ranked defense overall this year. So they're projecting them to be really good. The Packers defense is the number 2 projected defense this year. Yep.
Really? In the NFL?
Yep. Right behind the Steelers.
I would not have expected that.
Nope. Steelers, Packers, Ravens, 49ers, Chiefs, Patriots, then the Bears.
Yeah. No, I mean, our defense did really good last year, but we weren't number 2. I think we're like 15. I don't think it was that good, but okay, I'll take it.
As far as where they were last year, they were 25, 4, 3, 2, 1, 20, 16, 15. Yeah, 15. Perfect.
Oh. Nice.
So, yeah. I'm not going terribly into tight ends, kickers, defenses on this. You guys know the pertinent information there. Yeah, there are no great tight ends in this division except for like maybe Jimmy Graham.
No.
But I think it's the time that everybody's been waiting for. And honestly, I need to wrap this up because I really got to pee at this point. So this is the time that everybody's been waiting for, man. Draft order reveal. So you ready for this, Tony?
Let's do it.
Now, question for you. Should I give the score that they got on the Wonderlic too, or should I just leave that out because I don't want to put anybody on blast?
Leave it out.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start at the end and work up to number 1.
Yeah, that's fair.
How's that sound?
That's fair.
So, with the 12th overall draft pick, because he opted to not take the Wonderlic test and he just opted to go last, we have Mr. Aaron Seiden.
Woo! But at least
So,
you get 2 picks in a row, so that's kind of cool.
yeah, he gets the turn, which, is good, but I personally hate it. I hate having the turn. I hate being at the top or the bottom, man. That just sucks because you got to think about like 2 things in a row and you have like no time. I don't know. I don't know. I don't necessarily like it. With the 11th pick, we have Mr. Cody Coker. Corker. I don't remember what his last name is. I'm pretty sure it's Coker. With the 10th draft pick, Mr. Anthony.
There you go.
Mr. Anthony Tafoya.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe I should leave last names out. I don't know. But yeah, Anthony is the. Oh God, what did I say?
Number 10.
Number 10. Yes. With the 9th overall draft pick, we have Miss Laura.
Laura.
Yep. Then, oh God, this is the 8th pick. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8th pick. With the 8th pick, we have Mr. Dave.
Dave.
And right next to him, Mr. Tony.
Number 7.
Number 7, Mr. Tony S. Burgess.
I'm fine with that.
The S stands for, did you really set your draft order?
And the Bears still suck. Okay.
With the 6th pick, we have Mr. Daniel Kittleson.
DK.
Right there in the middle. Yep. Gonna go all Donkey Kong on everybody and beat them down. Oh, wait. No. Hold on one second. And, oh, I'm dumb. My bad.
Uh-oh.
Daniel is not at that position. I don't know how I noticed that. Okay, so right before Tony at the 6th position, we have Mr. Jamie.
Okay.
Yeah, Jamie got that score, and I don't know how I confused them. I looked at my little cheat sheet over here of like what everybody got, and yeah, can't believe I screwed that one up. And at the 5th pick, we got Mr. Daniel.
Okay.
So
he's number 5.
Yeah, he is number 5. Their points were 1 off from each other.
Got it.
So with the 4th overall pick, and this is where it starts getting good, man. We have Jen with the 4th overall pick. With the 3rd overall pick, we have the newbie, Mr. Josh.
There you go.
And with the top, number 2 pick, I guess, yeah, right there, we got Mr. Doug. Doug with number 2, and me with number 1.
I feel this is rigged, but
I did mine under Doug's supervision, so I rigged nothing. Go ahead, say what you will.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much cheating you want to do. This trophy will stay right here.
Okay.
At the end of the year.
Go ahead and believe that. I will cheat as much as I want. So, yes, I have the number 1 overall draft pick. I absolutely hate it. I'll be honest, man, because as a Giants fan, do I go with Saquon? As a Smart fan, do I go with Christian McCaffrey? I hate it. I wish I could switch with Doug and just have the number 2, and that way Doug can make that decision. And, because, that's a decision that I don't want to make. And if it's out of my hands, I feel it's all the better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, truth be told, I hate it that I'm number 1. So if anybody's looking to trade, let me know. Trades are welcome.
There you go.
But yeah, that is the draft order. So we have a week. We have a week until the draft. Who knows what's going to happen at this point? But now this gives everybody a little bit of time to plan and kind of have an idea. With the 7th overall draft pick, Tony, you kind of have an idea. I mean, especially when you start looking at who the players are and stuff, you can make a little bit of, deductions on what's going on. Probably for the first three picks, you got Saquon, Christian McCaffrey, and Ezekiel Elliott going out.
Yeah.
Where does Jen go after that? Does she go with a quarterback? Does she go with a wide receiver? Does she go with like Alvin Kamara? That's where it starts getting a little interesting. Daniel, honestly, at this point, and I'm gonna call the first round of the draft, man. I really should just go through, make a video, because Daniel, I will bet money he takes Mahomes or Kelsey. I'm
Oh
betting on
yeah.
Mahomes.
Yeah.
So Jamie, I'm betting he takes Julio because he's down there. He's a Falcons fan. I bet he takes Julio. Leaves you. Who do you take right now with your seventh overall position? Do you go with the heart and go with like Devonte Adams potentially? Do you go with Michael
Potentially.
Thomas, who's there left
No,
over potentially?
I've eh,
You know,
I don't want to
so
give up my secrets now. Nope.
exactly. But now we can start kind of game planning and having an idea because I think I know where most of the first round is going to go. Second round gets a little iffy on who's going to be available to me come the turn. But it just sucks, man. I hate having like 23 other people, choosing 22 other people choosing before me. Because it's just like, oh, okay, who is really left to me at this point? Because, am I going to get stuck with like, a Todd Gurley at the turn? Am I going to have the ability to have a player like a Nick Chubb or, somebody like that come to me? Who knows? That's half the fun. But
Yeah.
we're 1 week away. We are 1 week away.
We are 1 week away, indeed.
So, yeah, exciting times.
It is exciting.
This Friday, I'm going to come to you guys probably with a draft preview. If anybody wants to join me, if Mr. Tony is not available, who knows? You could decide to not go camping and maybe you still want to do something on Friday.
Yeah, maybe.
So,
Not sure.
who knows? Let me know. But that is it for our final divisional preview. This went a little bit long, but you know what? Screw it. We're giving you the information that's pertinent to you.
Yep.
So, for Mr. Tony S. Burgess, the S stands for Did you really set your draft lineup?
The Bears still suck.
Bears still suck.
Right.
I am Garrett M. La Laguna. The M stands for magnetic because all those points just all over my face. All over my face. So, or the M stands for McCaffrey. So, let's see what happens, man. So, that is our preview for this week. Have a great rest of your week, guys, and we will talk to you on Friday.
There you go. Bye-bye.
Have a good one, guys, and remember, may the best me win.